Dagba, Darubo. Mommy will live forever because she is a lovely woman. So I want to thank them for the work they've done and to say that we are all very proud of you. If your old man was able to see us today, he'll be very proud of the work you've done. Thank you so much. Shade? All right. Mommy, Ejokoma. Shade, oh yeah. Now you have the floor.
So it's my pleasure on that note to invite Professor Folashade Ogun Shola to talk to us about to present to us the Mabogunje Foundation.
Yemi Ogunbiyi, the Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan, Dr. Kayode Adebowale, my mother, Professor and Mrs. Mabogunje, my uncle, Professor Tope Mabogunje, my most distinguished guest speaker, Professor Akinlawon Ladipo. There are many people here I need to acknowledge, you will pardon me. But I have here Vice Chancellor, here Professor Ogunye, who I brought all the way from Lagos, the former Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Raman Bello, who is here. I have the previous Vice Chancellor, Professor Olayinka, who I invited and he came. I have the representative of the Nigerian University Commission, Professor Ekola, representing the Executive Secretary, Dr. Chris Miyake. I have the university management. I have many uncles and aunties, and I just decided I better just shut up and stop talking before I forget people. But I thank you all very much, and we really appreciate that you're giving us your time. When my father died last year, we felt as though there was still unfinished business. He stood for many things. One thing about my father, or our father, was that he stood for ethics, he stood for integrity, and he stood for the superior argument. And Taibat said it very, very well when she said, because he once told me, he said, when there is a problem, the problem is not concerned about disciplines. You need to walk. Okay. I have to, sorry. I have the provost of, pardon me, I'm going to make a few acknowledgements as well. The provost of St. James's Cathedral, Right Reverend Olagbaju. I have many aunties, so I'm going to try and mention them. They're all seated here. Professor Olurin, a very close friend of my mother and father. My father was also the chair of the Odutola Foundation. My aunt, in fact, I'm in trouble today, Mrs. Fakunda, Professor Awe, Professor Ajayi, my uncle, Mrs. Professor Oshutokun. I can't see everybody, but I would just say, let me also, Chief Ajibola Ogushola, my brother-in-law. I think I'm going to stop because everybody here needs to be mentioned. You're also special to us, so please pardon me if I stop at this time, so that I can go ahead and discuss this foundation. But thank you all for coming, and we are totally and overwhelmed by the love that we have had in the last 1 year since my dad died. My dad stood for many things, but the issue of the scholarship and the superior argument was something we grew up with. And it was about the questions that were asked and the answers, that you gave the answer, you went everywhere to find the answer. It did not matter where the discipline was. His belief was that the disciplines are artificial divisions to allow us to be experts in an area, but that they all flowed into all, and that if there was a question that had many facets, then you have to go through everything. And so I know if you needed mathematics, then you used it. It did not matter what your specialization was. What mattered was the question, and that you needed to give it the best shot. And so you need to read wide, and you need to be an expert in some areas, but you needed to ask questions and work across disciplines so that you could answer the question in a way that was as close to the truth as possible. And that is really one of the things that this foundation is seeking to do, to promote multidisciplinarity, which was really the essence of my father's scholarship. We have it on the book, on the program, why we're doing this. He has left many legacies, but one of his deepest passions was the Nigerian state and the African people. Africa is changing. And so they need to be handled. I'm a microbiologist, I'm not a geographist, but I have found that in what I do, if you do not take the cities well, I'm in antimicrobial resistance and in infectious diseases, it's going to determine how that even works. So you have to understand it, and your solutions must include those cities. So we are at the stage where we're still working on the concept, and at this time, I want to especially thank Professor Toyin Falola, who surprised me by being here. The last time I spoke to him, he was in the United States. In fact, he was on his plane out of Nigeria maybe about a week ago to the US, and then I saw him here today. Because when we were thinking about it, we were sitting in my sitting room with my brothers, and we were talking about this foundation, and he helped to make our thoughts clearer. And in fact, he wrote the first draft for the foundation. And I want to thank him very much for this. So the idea of the foundation is to promote the work he has been doing. And I think the foundation will assume that it is successful, or what success would look like is when the impact of the works and the way he thinks, using the people he has, should I say, infected with his way of thinking to make Nigeria a better place. Till then, the foundation cannot be said to be successful. And we hope to be able to support the work that to support his legacy of thought and scholarship by having regular annual lectures, which we have just started, but which will be taken over by the foundation when it is fully set. We would also be looking at giving prizes for people who can think out of the box, multidisciplinary teams and groups, so that we can continue to propagate that. We will do all this, and the other part of it will be, as the foundation grows in future, we would be looking towards supporting developmental projects, but that is further down the line. But we will start with an annual lecture and annual prize for excellence in development, whatever it is. As I said, he was also about ethics and integrity. And so that would also be a feature of the prize, the excellence. He was mediocrity, so excellence in everything that he'll do. So by celebrating the intellectual curiosity and innovative spirits that defined my dad, the foundation will hope to inspire more people to think like him and push the boundaries and challenge the norms so that we can answer the questions of the 21st century concerning the city's urbanization, with the sole aim of making sure that Nigeria truly works for every single one of us. So on that note, I'm asking that next year we will be here to truly launch this foundation. Today is just an introduction. And so please be with us next year in October, on October 18, 2024, to launch the Mabogunje Foundation. Thank you very much.
Everywhere he went, late Professor Mabogunje exemplified excellence. He was at the Ibadan Grammar School between 1943 and 1949. There is no doubt I was a very good old student. And this is why we have representatives of Ibadan Grammar School here, Old Students Association, to honor us at this ceremony. Please, can we give our hands of applause to members? And then I request that we all rise for recognition, please. Members, Ibadan Grammar School Student Association. Thank you for coming and being part of this program. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my Lord Spiritual and Temporal, now we are going to listen to the remarks, the closing remarks by the chief host, who is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan. It's my pleasure to invite Professor Kayode Adebowale to deliver his closing remarks.
The chairman of this occasion, Dr. Yemi Ogunbiyi, Mama, Honorable Justice Titilola Mabogunje, the guest lecturer, Professor Taibat Lawansin, a very articulate and brilliant lecturer. Are you from the University of Ibadan or University of Lagos? The other members of the high table, Professor Tokpe Mabogunje, surgeon, the Vice Chancellor of the Obafemi Awolowo University. They call themselves Oba Awon University. Professor Bamire, the 12th Vice Chancellor of this great university, my Oga, Professor Ebeli Dowu Olayinka. Our living ancestors that are present here, our living legends in the University of Ibadan. Very important guests, just allow me, representative of the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, the former Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebola Ekanla. Allow me, as they say, that if you stand on existing protocol, you are likely to break it. But when you look at my physical structure, I might likely not, but allow me to lean on the existing protocol, because if I lean on it, and with my stature, it's very likely that it will not be broken. Closing remarks. You have an advantage. The advantage is that you don't need to struggle so much. You have listened to all the things that have been said. all that you need to do is just to take a net and shift it, and then probably bring out, some of the things that we can use to conclude this very important meeting. But you also have a disadvantage. You have to sacrifice. Somebody that is giving a closing remarks will have to stay till the closing of the program. Apart from that, in the past how many minutes? 30 minutes, I've refused to look at my phone anymore because I know that the number of missed calls there will exceed about 50. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me make an open confession to openly appreciate the uniqueness of the Mabogunje family. Because about 1 year ago, when they came here, they said in order that they will immortalize the name of Professor Mabogunje, that they are going to institute what we have come here to witness. And to time, we are here to witness it. Can we appreciate them? Professor Akinlawon Ladipo, but first, before I make the few remarks, let me say that Professor Akinlawon Ladipo is an embodiment, carries an embodiment of the University of Ibadan. The mantra of the university, the motto of the university is recte sapere fons, and it means to think straight is the fount of knowledge. And you will agree with me that Professor Akinlawon Ladipo is truly a thinker in all aspects from all that we have listened to today. And let me announce to us that the University of Ibadan will be 75 years old by November this year. And we are rolling out the drums to celebrate the excellence that the University of Ibadan is made of. So I'm using the opportunity to invite all of us that are present here to come and celebrate with us. Professor Akinlawon Ladipo is a distinguished scholar. He served this university meritoriously for about 25 years. And 17 out of those years, he served as a professor of this university. He contributed significantly to all spheres of academics. And I'm going to just point out, it's not possible to point out all that he had done. But one of them, is that he was pivotal to the establishment of some programs in this university. And one among them is the Urban and Regional Planning Program, which started from the Department of Geography. This department has grown in leaps and bounds, and is now a department in another faculty, the Faculty of Environmental Sciences and Management. It has grown in leaps and bounds, and that is what Professor Akinlawon Ladipo is made of. He has projected the image of this university through numerous public, and private appointments. Many of them have been said here today. No wonder he has a lot of awards. University of Ibadan, let me conclude that University of Ibadan is very proud of him, very proud of the awe-inspiring achievements of Akinlawon Ladipo. Not only did he take the Ibadan brand to all the places that he went, he left behind an exemplary species of public intellectuals that I want to call the Ibadan strain. The Ibadan strain is a strain that permeates globally all places in the world. And this model of Ibadan strain is, we know, is already being emulated not only by others, I know that it will be emulated by even generations that is yet to come. Let me announce to you that the second lecture that we are going to listen to, not today, but next year, in the second anniversary, will be delivered by an Ibadan strain. One of the Ibadan strains that he has produced. Professor Badegeshin, are you still there? Professor Adeniyi Badegeshin, we are going to work together to make this to come to fruition. Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos. The University of, what do you call it now? First choice. And what do you call it? What do you call it again? The nation's pride. I welcome all of us to the University of Ibadan, the first and the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the first session. The book that was presented by Professor Albert Olawale is available for sale outside, alongside the other books. The book sells for 15,000 naira. After this break, if people are interested in buying the books, you go out, stretch your legs, buy the books, and come back inside, because very shortly we will start the second part of the program. And then we know Ibadan is known for Orishirishi ara. Today we are adding style to the singing of the university anthem and the national anthem. As usual, we will sing the university anthem the way we have always sung it. And then I will invite Miss Frances Otobo to lead us in the singing of the national anthem. Now, may I request that we all rise for the anthems. Thank you. Miss Otobo, please come to the stage. in hand of truth. Protocol is that we sing the university anthem and end with the national anthem. That was what I said, but Miss Otobo sang the national anthem. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please we reconvene in another 10 minutes for the second part of this ceremony. Thank you all for your time.